Hello. Okay. So it's that awkward time. We're going to wait for some people to hop on. I think we might be like 1 minute early. No, we're good.
1 minute late.
Okay. So we're going to just sit for a second. I'm going to drink my Energize at 8 o'clock at night.
You're going to be up all night.
At least I'm not going to be sick.
She drinks like back in the Dr. Pepper days. She could have 1 can of pop and she'd be up for all night.
Hey, McCall. Okay. So when you hop on, tell me what state you're in. This was fun last time to see where everybody came from. So comment below. I got to also see if our comments are working. Live video has been weird lately and I've not seen people's reactions or comments. So, oh dear. Comment so I can see. I'm only seeing people hopping on. I hope someone's commenting. Someone comment. Oh no. Okay, we're going to log in real quick in my hubby's Facebook and see if I can view the comments that way. We might need to actually restart because I cannot see anything. And I'm not going to just sit and talk to myself. Okay. So I hope you guys are commenting. Let me log in real quick. Greg will keep you company. He loves this stuff. It's his favorite. No, I don't want to do this. Gosh. Okay, let's see if I can find the video. See, you guys are commenting and it's not showing me. Gosh. Okay, so we will just keep it, his phone up right here. Is it charged? Are you good? Oh, can we mute that? Does it not work? Sorry, technical difficulties. So keep commenting where you're from.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so it's not doing some weird feedback for you guys, right? Okay. Utah, we have Alabama to, okay, MS is Mississippi. Am I right? Is that wrong? You guys, I should know this. Missouri, which one is it? MS. Okay. Alabama, Utah, Texas, Maryland, fun, Cedar, Wyoming. Okay. This is super fun. I want to wait just a couple more minutes because let people have a chance to hop on. Oh, see, yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so we have more Utahs. We have Canada. Okay, we have Mississippi. I guessed right. Yeah, you guys, I should know that stuff, but I don't. I'll be learning that with my kids. Geography. Okay, you guys, while we wait for a second, this is called Energize, and it's a pre-workout, and this stuff is the bomb. I don't drink it just for pre-workout. Obviously, I'm not working out right now, but it's made with green tea, and I started getting a cold on Saturday, like super tight throat. My voice was actually really weird this morning. I sound kind of manly right now, but it was pretty bad this morning.
Her voice will start squeaking here.
It probably will, actually.
A little bit.
So I thought I was doomed. Like, oh no, I thought I was going to end up with fevers and coughs. And dude, Energize and some herbs, like I swear that stuff helps kick sicknesses. So I am drinking my Energize to hopefully help keep me not sounding too manly. Okay, so you see more Utah's, Idaho, Missouri is MI. So you guys are so smart. Oh, goodness. Okay. So it looks like we have a pretty good amount of people on right now. So we're just going to get started. So those who catch the playback aren't sitting here forever. So excuse me, how this is going to work is when I did my webinar last month, I had a lot of people curious about his perspective of everything. And this is not something he would love to talk about anyway, to be very honest. Like, he doesn't love public speaking anyway. Like, he'd probably rather die. So,
not true. I wouldn't rather die.
What would
No.
you rather? Let's see how bad this is.
I can't even tell you.
It's just not his favorite thing.
It's
So
not my favorite thing.
no, so I really appreciate him coming on because he sees the value in this, because he is able to see, like I read him the texts and the comments I'm getting in the group that I have going, my His Needs, Her Needs challenge group, and he sees the value in what we're doing. So like he's willing to talk about this, but just know that this is not his comfort zone to begin with. And then we're kind of putting him on the spot because it's not something that anybody ever really wants to talk about. But like I said, we understand the value for you guys to understand that real life happens, and this is way more common than you'd think. If you guys saw how many messages I received, you'd probably die. So just know that you're definitely not alone, okay? And we've been there. But just understand this is not his thing. So if he seems a little uncomfortable, it's because he is, and this is not fun for him. So I'm gonna ask him questions so that it's easier for him versus him just trying to figure out what he's talking about. So first, I'm going to have him tell us from his perspective, basically our story from when we started dating to when life kind of fell apart. So, take it over, babe.
So it's all mine.
It's all
Okay.
yours. Oh my gosh.
Just kidding. Okay, so when I didn't even know Jalen exists. We're both from the same small town in southern Utah, and I didn't know her at all. But my friend was getting married, my best friend and roommate at the time, and I at the time I was so sick of dating. I don't know how many folks here are LDS, but I was 25 at the time, and at that age for LDS folks, you're getting old. So, and everyone around me is getting married. So, and I was dating girls and stuff, and I was just so sick of the whole dating game. And those of you who have been there know exactly what I'm talking about. But just the games and all the crap that goes along with it. And so I was sick of it. And so I remember coming home one day, and my buddy who was getting married the next day, he's like, "Hey, I should hook you up with his wife's best friend," which turned out to be Jalen. He's like, "I should hook you up with her. She just recently is going through a bad marriage, and she's a good girl, and blah blah blah." And I was like,
Let's pause there. So his friend told pause, don't move. So his friend told him about me the day before their wedding. That day I had gone to sign my divorce papers, and I did not intend to see my ex, but the lawyer's like, "Dude, rather than having to serve your ex papers and wait for all of that time, let's just calm down the office, have him sign the papers." So he did, and dude, I was not prepared for that, and it totally like rattled my world. Like it shook it. I was once again like, dude, men are crazy. I don't trust any of them. And so he was like, "Hey, yeah, that'll be awesome. Hook us up." And things didn't work out that way. Like his friend never hooked us up, which is good, because he's like, "I was looking for you all day at the wedding and at the reception, and we never saw each other." And I'm like, "Dude, it's a good thing. Trust me. If I would have seen you and you tried to talk to me, I'd have been like, don't talk to me ever again. Like, men are crazy. Just leave me alone." So it ended up being a good thing. So anyway, go.
So I'm 36 now.
Yeah, so we've been married for almost 11 years now. So
11 years in May.
yeah. So
where were we?
Jake
Okay,
tried
so
to hook us up.
yeah, and then so I went to the wedding the next day looking for her because I was aware that she's going to be there, and I saw her. And then after the wedding ceremony and stuff, I was looking for her, but there's pictures and stuff going on, so a lot of stuff going on, and I lost her. I don't know where she went. And
I didn't go. They had a huge line. I walked in one door, walked to the back of the line, and walked out the other door.
yeah, so
It was a good thing.
I couldn't find her. So I was telling my buddy, like, you gotta hook me up with her next time you see her. But he was newlywed, and he didn't care about all that stuff because he was done with dating, because obviously he found his girl. So he never hooked me up, even though I tried to get him to. And then I kept randomly running into her. So
Seeing me.
yeah,
We still hadn't met.
no, I'd run into her. She still didn't know I existed, but I would see her. So I found out that she worked at like Costa Vida, and I saw her there a couple times, and I always wanted to ask her out, but I never did.
Mm-mm.
I was chicken. And so anyways, and then I ran into her another time like at a video store at Hollywood Video, and she was
Pause there. So I was with another guy, and I had just literally had the prompting. I kind of mentioned this in my last webinar. I had the prompting that I needed to date other guys, and this guy had treated me well. And that was the night I broke up with that guy. When he saw me at the movie store with this other guy, that was the night I broke up with that guy.
Yeah, so then but I didn't know that because they looked like they were pretty close, and so I was like,
I was annoyed at the time. I was not really close.
I thought I missed the boat, so I was like, whatever. I got my movie and went home and watched it by myself. And then
it's like a week later.
Then I went to a church. Yeah, no, was it a week later?
Not much longer.
A few weeks later, maybe. I went to a church dance, which I never did. That wasn't my thing.
They're crazy.
But, yeah, so I didn't go to that, but one of my friends' roommates talked me into going, so I went, and then I actually went and found another girl's number that I had been looking for a long time, and I got her number, so I was all excited. And
he doesn't even remember me. Remember, he has seen me around town, and he didn't remember I was talking to him at the dance.
So apparently we talked at the dance. I don't remember talking to her at the dance.
It still has escaped his memory. He was so focused on that girl.
Yeah, but then after we went, my same group of friends, like, well, let's go to Denny's or something. So we went to Denny's, and we were meeting my friend's group of friends. My friend's group of friends was a group of girls, which was Jalen's part of that group. We met at Denny's, and I was like, oh, sweet, she's here. So later we went to a party, and then I finally had the guts to chat with her, and I got her phone number, asked her on a date. We went on a date.
Yeah, and it's funny. So back in the day, there weren't smartphones, and his name came up as Greg Love with 2 L's. Our last name's Lovell. So my sister's like, who is Greg Love the second? It was really funny at the time. And I missed the phone call. So, dude, you can hear him, Hillary. He's killing me. Maybe I should go scare him. Yeah, so we kept running into each other. So I'm going to stall while he goes scares the dog, because the dog really listens to him. He doesn't listen to me. Kind of like my kids. It's funny how that works. So we kept running into each other. He asked me out on a date. This is another crazy thing. So he asked me out. He got my phone number Friday, and the next Friday, we had gone up north to visit my brother who had just had a baby, and my mom had to work on Friday. No, that's when I met him. I came home on Friday after my brother had had his baby, and I met him. We went back up and helped my brother and sister-in-law when they had their baby, and that's when he texted me and asked me out on a date the next weekend. And I'll be honest, you guys know this. I was like, I didn't want to go. I'm so mean. Let's see. What is a small town? Well, I mean, this was like 30,000. So like there was a college there and stuff. And we seriously had like, he went to like a college class with my brother. One of his high school girlfriends started dating my boyfriend in high school and took my brother to a dance. Like, so I knew who he was, like his name. So when we were at the party, he was like, we were sitting there chatting, and I'm like, wait, what's your name again? And he's like, Greg Lovell. I'm like, I know you. And so we had all these weird connections, but we never ran into each other until on our own, which was funny. Cause like he said, he tried to get his friend to hook us up, and it never happened. And, are you guys okay? Someone's saying it's freezing. Is it just for them? We're not glitching out for you guys? Okay, so we kept running into each other. He asked me out on a date. I got us to that point. So we went on tell him about our first date. What did you think? You guys, he doesn't talk like mushy, so this is fun for me.
What did they think?
So we go on our date.
It was a good date. I can't remember what.
That's all he's gonna say.
We went to dinner. We played golf with another group of
Mm-hmm.
another couple. It was fun. We hit it off really well.
And little weird side note, I was like, remember I thought I'm gonna go crazy, so I was like, dude, I'm ordering a freaking steak. If he has a problem with me ordering a steak, then whatever. So I like immediately started testing him, and you actually liked that I ordered.
Yeah, it drove me nuts when girls wouldn't order anything. So it was good that I was actually very impressed that she bought a steak. So.
I was like, I'm getting the most expensive thing on the menu.
And I didn't feel bad for eating a steak either, so it worked well. So.
Oh, okay.
And then I remember I took you home.
Yeah. You didn't kiss me. You didn't try to kiss me.
No, that wasn't my style.
Which was good because I thought all men were crazy.
So and then that was it. I hugged her and let her go. And then the next day.
We saw each other like every day.
Yeah, we pretty much saw each other after that every day. There was one day though. This is one part I was going to touch on. There's one day. It was like 2 days later or something. I think we were at your house. She invited me over to her house, and she was telling me about the stuff she was going through with her previous marriage. And so, man, after she told me all that stuff, I didn't have a problem that she was married before, but a lot of the emotional stuff that she went through, I was like, wow, okay, so she's not gonna really there's so many walls up right now that I don't think that I'm gonna stand a chance. So I just at that point I gave up, and it was gonna be pretty much we'll be friends. We'll have friend status. And I was fine with that. I mean, she was awesome, so I was good with that.
But we still kept talking every single day.
Yeah, we still kept talking, and then
we saw each other every single day. And you did have a roommate that was like, dude, you gotta play hard to get. Don't call her, make her like chase you.
Yeah, but back to the thing that I said at the beginning, the games thing, I was so done with that. Like I was kind of maybe I was bad at dating, because at the end I was like, if people were playing games, then I was done. So I think a lot of people can appreciate that if you've had to date for a long period of time. So,
which is where I was obviously too. I'd been married before. Like I wasn't gonna do this like yank my chain crap. Like I'd been through hell. Like I'm not doing that again. So it's a good thing he didn't fall for his friend's advice. And yeah, so we pretty much were together every day. And it was by like the end of February we knew we were getting married. You guys, we met at the end of January.
That's like, so crazy. Seems crazy to me now.
I know, we're like, dude, that is nuts. Like we would never recommend anybody like get married in 4 months. Like we met in January and we're married at the end of May.
But if I could redo, I wouldn't change it. You know what I mean? Like it was what we needed. It worked good for us. So.
Well, and I think we both knew, we were like, what's the point in dragging this out? Like what? Why? Like we were done playing games. It was clear that we like loved each other. We were inseparable. We like immediately clicked. Like I didn't feel like I had to censor and act a certain way and pretend I couldn't talk about my marriage. Like that was a big thing to me. I wanted to feel comfortable enough to be able to like talk openly, because it was part of my life. Like I wasn't going to pretend that a huge tragic, I mean, it was like a harsh reality for me. It was traumatizing, and he was always really good with that. So
yep. And then so we got married, and then a year later we had our first little girl, Kira, who's awesome. And then what?
Okay, so now I'm going to ask him more questions. So when or what do you think caused us to hit rock bottom?
When or what?
Mm-hmm.
I would say that we didn't, I don't know that there's any specific point. Like it was, because we've always, even during like our lowest points, we were always still very close to each other, but
like we're really good friends, and that's something I want you guys.
Becoming like less romantic and more just really close friends, which is great, except for you're married. You should be more than that. So, so when did it?
When or what do you think like really led to us getting to the point of rock bottom?
I'd say what did was just slowly not doing the things that we did when we were were dating or when we were first married, and that was spending time together. We were dirt poor because of some of the, well, that's a whole nother story. That my debt that I had from school.
Well, we had babies really fast.
Yeah, so we
had like life changes, like the big life change. You know, like there's like what, those 5 different life changes that can lead to divorce. Like we did like, I think 4 of them in 1 year.
4 of the 5, 4
yeah.
out of the 5 or whatever. So
life.
Yeah, life just happened, but it just slowly, it's one of those things, like if you're not exercising your relationships, like slowly it's gonna start going downhill instead of getting better.
Well, and what we want you to understand too is, like he said, is we were still really close. We still spent time together as like a family, and on his days off, like we were still doing things together. But the intention wasn't in the right spot, and our needs were not being filled because life was happening. We had lots of kids, we had no money. On top of that, we didn't really know what each other's needs were. Like, I think because we clicked so well at the beginning with being good friends, that's kind of what we fell back to, was just good friends, which in a marriage, you do need friendship. Absolutely. I think that's a strong foundation that you need. But you should never, ever just be friends in a marriage. Okay. That's one of the warning signs I want you guys to see, because I think that's what opens it up to problems, is the friend zone and the roommate status. Like, you're lovers. You're not supposed to be roommates. Like, I could live with anybody and we could function and have a household running based on roommate status, but that's not what a marriage is intended to be. It's not, you get married to have babies and all of a sudden your spouse is no longer your lover and you're taking care of your kids. Like, they should always be the focus. And so can you expound more on, like, essentially what happened? Explain it from your point of view. You can divulge as much or as little as you want. But what was it that you thought, holy crap, this is not okay?
So this situation that Jalen's talked about, it started from text messaging. So I was text messaging a friend,
of the opposite sex, who I had dated in the past, and another big red flag. Okay.
Yeah, and obviously that I knew that was wrong, but when you're not getting the attention, I guess, that you feel like you need at home, then you start to be okay with that, even though obviously I know it was horribly wrong and everything. But so it just started out as just chat, and then after probably almost 2 years of just casual chat, started to become a little bit more serious. And
P.S. I was oblivious to all of this. I had no idea. Okay. So, like, you know, those people that say they were blindsided, I legit felt blindsided. Like, like I said, we were still really close. Like, I never would have guessed, like, we were that disconnected, because we were so close. And I mean, we still talked a lot and all of that, but yeah, I was legit blindsided.
And if you would have told me when I first was married, or even a year into being married, that this was going to happen, I would have laughed at you. Like, there's no way that I would even make those stupid decisions. It's not my character. It's not who I am. But I think anyone's susceptible to these types of things if you're not working on your marriage. And so just slowly as we started to, and as I wasn't having my needs fulfilled at home, I think it kind of went both ways, and I was doing the same to Jalen. Then after a while, we our needs weren't being met, and so the text messaging stuff, I guess, filled that void, if you will.
He said, do you remember what I wanted you to say? Like, he told me when, like, everything came out. Remember what you told me?
Just say, I don't.
Okay. he told me he was chasing a feeling. Like he was.
Oh yeah.
The person this was happening with.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so everyone knows when you first meet that girl or you first meet that guy, whichever you are, but you're all excited about that, and everyone chases that feeling, that newness, if you will, and so that's kind of how it felt as I was talking to her, and she would talk to me. It just felt like there's just that excitement, that newness feeling. And then with Jaylin at home, it was always felt like just negativity.
Do you guys remember how I described myself?
Yeah, so
it was bad. You guys, it was bad.
Yes. Anyways, so this is all embarrassing for me to tell, so I'm just going through it because I feel stupid, but if it helps any of you, then great. But so yeah, then I just found myself that I knew it was wrong, and I knew what I was doing was going to hurt people, but yet I was just chasing that thing that didn't exist. You know what I mean? That feeling. And so eventually at some point when it was getting serious, where I could see that it could become something more than just text messaging, I thought I better tell Jaylin, and it sucked. Like worst day of my life. Like, it was horrible.
That makes two. Oh, I made him burn his shirt that he was wearing when he told me. I'm like, put that in the fire. Like, I can't even.
Should I answer some of these?
We'll go back through at the end, because
okay.
I think some of the questions you guys have, we're going to answer. It's part of the outline we have. I'm like lightheaded, you guys.
Me too.
This is not easy for him. I'm like trying not to hyperventilate.
So,
I didn't divulge this much last time because it wasn't my place.
Oh, okay.
I just said that someone was
treading new water.
I just said that someone was giving him positive attention.
So yeah, it never went any further than the text messaging, but yeah, I eventually told Jaylin, and then we started the horrible road to fixing our marriage. And I just told her that I was very blunt with her, and she was blunt with me, and we just laid it out there of why I wasn't necessarily happy in our marriage, and why she wasn't happy, and we just started working on patching the hurt. And obviously to this day I feel horrible about the whole thing. I hate even bringing it up. When Jaylin told me that she wanted me to come on here and talk, she wanted to for the last group, and I was like, no. But as Jaylin's got some of the feedback from people, I can see that if my experience can help any of you, then it's worth it to me to come out here and spill my beans. So anyways, anything more?
Okay, so I have so many thoughts right now. I'm trying to organize them. Okay, so now we're going to kind of talk about like how we built ourselves back up, like how we picked the pieces back up. Blah. I feel like I'm gonna puke. Sorry. Not just because of me, but I know this would be so hard to share, and he did it. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
But I do know that this is not uncommon. And I've been wanting to share for a while now. In fact, when it happened, I was like, I've always been the type that I've always been able to see a blessing in a trial. Maybe not like right when it happens, like right then I'm really pissed. But like even with my first marriage that was abusive, like I've always been able to kind of see the blessings that come from it. And I knew that we were not alone in this, and that I needed to help people somehow, because it's not, especially with our technology day and age, this is not uncommon, you guys. And what I wanted to really emphasize, like the friend zone is never okay. Like we were not fighters, we weren't yellers, we weren't like hating each other and it was like friction. I mean, we were still sleeping in the same bed, we were still intimate. It wasn't happening nearly as often as it should have had.
Once a month.
happened.
I'm just kidding. I don't remember. I just
Nursing
I'm just
hormones.
throwing this out.
Let's be nice.
Yeah,
no, but
nursing
it's
hormones
true.
really didn't help. But
And I didn't feel comfortable. We'll talk about that, but it's so true. Anyway, so I've been wanting to share because I know how dangerous the friend zone is, and with technology, like, you've got to be proactive. This isn't something you have to wait until your marriage blows up. Like, if we would have known these things that I'm going to talk about, like, I know we could have prevented this from happening. Do you feel the same way?
yeah.
Okay, so, like, we're on the same page. Like, the things we have learned from this, had we known beforehand, you guys, it would have prevented a lot of heartache on both of our sides. Now, I don't think it's all bad, because it's made us realize, like, we have to take this seriously. Like, this, our marriage will always be a priority, because that was a living hell. Like, if you want to describe hell, that was it. Like, I can see how people shut down and they can't function. I remember being, like, in a fog, like, randomly falling apart at the grocery store. My daughter's gymnastics, like, I couldn't even hold myself together, because I never pictured us becoming that way. And I remember telling him, like, holy crap, like, I feel like our marriage is a sham, because, like, I always felt like we had something special because of the friendship that we had. You guys, friendship is great. Please have friendship. But that friendship does not fill your husband's love needs if that's not his top language, or love need, I guess. So someone asked, no, I'm going to answer that later. So I'm going to now talk about the book, His Needs, Her Needs. So I talked about in our last webinar, we started reading, like, 5 love languages and doing the quiz for 5 love languages. And that's when we both figured out, you know, our top love language was physical touch, which was not happening. And I talked about that in the last webinar. You guys can go watch that. I'll post the link again later. That PS, if you've commented and stuff, we're not ignoring you. We will go back through that. We just want to not lose where we're at. So what was I saying? 5 love languages. Okay, so physical touch. So we knew, like, okay, physical touch wasn't happening. I was uncomfortable with my body. I didn't even want him to touch me, to be honest. Like, I was negative and bitter and pissed all the time. So, like, and when I get mad, like, don't touch me. So it was a really, really, really bad combo. And that's when we were like, dude, like, this is serious. Well, I have a friend who suggested His Needs, Her Needs, and before I even did my webinar, I hadn't even really read it. I had only done the questionnaire last month, and you guys, it has blown my mind reading it and doing the questionnaire. So we just did the questionnaire like a week ago, like, in depth. I thought I knew his answers. I didn't. Some of them I had in the wrong order. So I really, really, really highly recommend you take the His Needs, Her Needs quiz. I will post the link to that as well, because it is way more detailed than the 5 love languages. Because 5 love languages, like I said, our top need was physical touch. I need affection. I want to be, like, kissed and hugged, and he needs sex. Okay, I like sex too, but those are different topics in the His Needs, Her Needs. Okay, so
when you do it too. Like, be open to what your husband or wife.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, it's just be open to it, because
you can't fill your husband's or your wife's needs if you're going to be prideful about it and offended.
Yeah,
like,
don't be offended. Just make the adjustment.
It doesn't,
like, whatever it is. It's
you're
not that big of a deal. Just make the adjustment, because when your husband or wife makes that change, then you'll become more, well, what does he call it in the book? The love bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it fills his love bucket, fills her love bucket. And when my love bucket is filled, I want to do more for her, and vice versa. So it just keeps going. But it's when you start taking out of that love bucket that everything gets back. I'm going to go shut the dog.
Okay, so I'm going to explain really quickly the whole theory behind the book, His Needs, Her Needs. So there's 10 love needs that this is a marriage counselor who has noticed a lot of marriage counselors have terrible success rate. Like, people are still getting divorced. And he just was like, what is missing here? And so as he interviewed all of these people who were coming into his practice, he realized there were 10 common love needs that people needed fulfilled to fill love. And those 10 are different for everybody. So my husband's needs are going to be different than your husband's needs as far as order of which ones are most important, and mine are probably going to be different than yours. Now there's the typical 5 male and 5 female ones, and guess what? They're usually opposite, okay? So I'm going to tell you what they are, and I'm going to tell you what ours are and where we went wrong and where I know we could have prevented a lot of it. What I do want you to understand too is Greg, as we were talking last night, he's like, do you know what's funny is when your love needs are being met, you don't even notice other people. Like texting someone would not even cross his mind when his love needs are being met. Now, in no way are we justifying the actions that have happened, correct?
Right.
He's not saying if your love needs are not met, go and have inappropriate relationships. That's not at all what we are saying, and that would never be acceptable.
If you see yourself going down that path, then something in your marriage is not being met, and you're probably also not doing something for
his needs,
for his or her needs, because that's, she might be pulling away from you because you are you're not filling her love bucket.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely a two-way street, and that's what we realized when we did this quiz. Like, it wasn't just his needs being met, mine weren't being met, but let's be honest, I had like a billion kids occupying my time. I couldn't go to work and be distracted, and I was exhausted. So that, not that I'm immune or exempt from this happening, and I've told him I can see how even I could fall away. And in the book, he talks about how it doesn't matter how moral and religious you are, if your needs are not being met, it opens the door for other individuals to meet those needs. And he explains it this way. Every person you interact with withdrawals or deposits from those love buckets, even just friends, family members, it doesn't matter. You have love buckets for these 10 topics. And regardless of family, friends, marriages, those love buckets will have deposits and withdrawals. And when your spouse's love bucket in that need is less than someone else's love bucket for that specific need, that's when crap happens. And he gives so many examples of how people aren't ever intending to start out as, I'm so sick of my wife, I'm just going to go cheat on her today. It never started out. In fact, yours didn't start, like, were those your intentions?
No, heck no.
So you need to understand that it's always a slippery slope. It's never just like one day I'm done, I'm going to go cheat on my wife or my husband or whatever. It's a very, very slippery slope that happens gradually. And it all is just from tiny deposits being deposited into that love bucket need that you need more than your spouse is fulfilling. Okay. So if you're in a situation where you feel that way, you need to have like come to Jesus meeting with your spouse and like, dude, these are my needs. And that's where you guys probably are all my friends or close to it, and you've seen my posts I've done, and we're going to talk about these needs. And dude, some people get legit pissed when I talk about these certain needs. It offends them somehow, but it doesn't matter what you think about the need. It's his need. So whether you like it or not, if you're not fulfilling that need, that love bucket need could be being fulfilled somewhere else. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the 10 top needs. So there's 10 total, 5 for women, 5 for men. Did I say that right? Whatever, girls and boys. Men's top needs are, oh crap. Let me see if I have them all here. Men's top needs are sex. I'm trying to think in the order. Sex, physical attraction, domestic support, recreational companionship, and admiration. Those are the top 5 for men, okay? For women, it is affection, intimate conversation, open and honesty. Crap. Because I kind of, financial support. And what's the last one? We kind of don't have all 10. Like, we both have a mix of the two. Mm-hmm. So there's one more. I'll post the graphic also. So after this, I'll post the quiz link. I'll post a picture of the book you guys need to download. And I'll also post a graphic of the 10 love needs, okay? So when we did the quiz, his top needs are in this order. Physical attraction. Wait, did I say that right? Is that physical? Yeah, physical attraction. Okay, this is the one that pisses people off. You guys, it don't matter if it pisses you off. Chances are your husband was physically attracted to you if that's his top love need.
And physical attraction is this is where everyone gets mad because they think that physical attraction means that you look like a Barbie. Like, no, physical attraction, sorry, this dog is right next to me now, and he keeps falling off the chair, so I'm trying to catch him. But physical attraction means that you, it can be anything. Like, my attraction to, or things that I like is not something that your husband likes about women or any other person. We're all different. And so
it's relative to your relationship.
Yeah, it could just be the color of eyes. Like, I'm attracted to brown eyes, which I very much am. But
and it could be like he just wants you to shower for the day and not stink.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's so big. But every time Jalen says this, people freak out and they're like, oh, but I don't want to be.
That's so shallow and so vain. And like, you age and you're going to get wrinkles. Like, well, duh, that's not the point. Like, I don't look like I'm 21 anymore. He's not attracted to 21-year-olds. It's the fact that I'm caring for how I look. He likes when I do my makeup, and there's certain looks he likes better than others, and he'll tell me, and I know that. So if I really want to get his attention, I wear certain outfits, specifically baseball hats, workout clothes. I do my hair curly, and I do like this kind of makeup. Like, I know what he likes. That doesn't mean I have to look perfect all the time. It doesn't mean I'm supposed to look like Cindy Crawford. It's what he saw in me while we dated. I'm taking care of myself to the same degree that I did while we did dating. It's not that you need to go and get plastic surgery and be a size 2. It is very relative to your situation, okay? And if this is not your husband's top need, then y'all don't need to be so concerned about it, okay? This is the one that seriously causes the most friction and pissed offness of people. Holy jeans. Yeah, he gives me crap about my holy jeans. He likes my holy jeans. Okay. So his top need was physical attraction. I thought it was sex. Nope. He's like, at least I'd be able to look at you. So his top need is physical attraction. Okay, so I was like, I need to probably emphasize that a little bit more and get up and like actually get dressed more than twice a week. Sex is his next one, which when you feel like crap about yourself and you're not taking care of yourself, you don't really want sex. And let me tell you something, sex is really mental for women. It's very mental. We're not visual. We want to feel good. And it's all about how we feel about ourselves. Our husbands could be like super smoking hot and we're like, yeah, I'm feeling really fat tonight, so that ain't happening. Sorry. So it's all about how we feel about ourselves. So that was the first thing. As soon as like the bomb dropped, I was like, I'm done. I hate how I feel. Like, I have got to do something like today. Okay. So sex is his second. The third is domestic support. Oh, you guys.
She didn't get offended. She just like,
I knew from the, I'm like, oh shiz, I'm going to bomb this one. I'm not the best housewife. I don't think I'm the worst.
No, but
I'm not the best.
And just for the record too, I don't just stand around and say, Jalen, you need to cook for me. You need to make me food. You need to be in the kitchen.
It's funny because he's always been good with doing all of that. He'll come and he'll do the dishes. In fact, he cleaned the kitchen today. See, go him. He does, let's show it off. So he does all those things.
Before the kids wake up and mess it up.
But when I do it for him, I can see how much that makes him happy. In fact, last week, that was in our challenge group, like the focus. And he'd come home, like we have like a security camera, and he's like, I could see on the camera that you guys were cleaning it. It really did make me happy. So it's the little things. And it's the fact that he would rather, a clean house over, I don't know.
Financial support.
To him, like, he doesn't care if I bring in money or not. I mean, of course he loves that I do, but that doesn't matter to him. He'd rather have a clean house. His fourth one is recreational companionship. So this is like dating, like spending time together, non-sexual activity, doing things together as a couple. And then admiration. That's never been really a hard thing. Like, I've always been really supportive of him. I think he's dead sexy. So it's not hard for me to like admire him, although I can be a nag. So, okay. So now why I told you his needs, do you guys want to know how bad I was bombing these when everything came to pot? Well, first off, I had 4 kids and a baby, and P.S. he's not shallow.
Baby.
Yeah, sorry. 4, but I was watching my niece, so that's where I did the math
that's
wrong.
right. Okay.
So he never was like, you need to lose weight. Not ever has he ever put me down. But I felt like crap. So what's the point in getting dressed? And why am I going to spend 30 minutes doing my makeup when I don't feel attractive anyway? So, and then on top of that, I was beyond frazzled watching my niece. Like we were doing opposite schedules. So it was really hard for me to even want to find the priority to do that. Like, I just didn't care. I felt like crap. And when you don't fit your clothes and you're not comfortable, I'd rather stay in pajamas all day. So physical attraction, he even told me he was attracted to me, you guys, but I didn't believe it. So that's part of this I want you to understand. Your husband can tell you you're dead sexy, and if you're not going to accept it and you have a wall up, it's going to block him from being able to have that need fulfilled, because your negativity and your rebuttals of him telling you that he's attracted to you is going to actually deplete his love bucket, okay? So if he says that he thinks you're sexy, say thank you and do like a little dance or something, okay? So just, yeah. So, and then sex, okay? Nursing hormones, I didn't have a sex drive. And I think I had a pretty good drive normally. Like, he's like, whatever. I'm not like one of those that's like, I don't want to have sex. But added nursing and stress, and I was like, I just didn't care. And so it was happening about once every 2 weeks. I do know that. I remember that, thinking this is not good. Once every 2 weeks is not good enough, guys, okay? Especially if it's a top need. So when you do this quiz, it's very thorough. I mean, to the point that he'll say, how much more do they need to do this? How many times a day, week, or month do you want this to happen more? Okay, so the quiz is very eye-opening. Once again, please do not be offended. Remember that your spouse is trying to tell you what they need, and their needs need to be met whether you want to or not. So just suck it up and figure it out so you know how to love your spouse. Affection, no, domestic support. I had four including my niece and a baby. It was so hard to keep up, you guys.
And I didn't blame her for that. I understood that. And I did the best I could too, but
I think the biggest thing for him is the dishes. If the dishes are done, and I'm the same way, like the house feels like so much cleaner if the kitchen is not a mess. Well, I freaking hate the dishes. So we're getting a better system down. Dishes. Yeah, but it's like real hate for me. Like, I would rather just burn them all. Okay, affection.
Which we do. We have paper plates.
Sometimes. We do. We use all the time, mostly. I'm joking. Sorry. Affection. I already told you. Affection is my top need, because I felt like crap. I didn't want him to touch me. I was embarrassed. Like, you guys, I was not someone who was overweight growing up, so it was foreign to me. Now, if he had met me and married me at the weight I was at when the bomb dropped, I don't think that we would have had an issue, because it was me being uncomfortable in my skin that led to a lot of these issues. The physical attraction, the lack of sex, the affection, okay? And because of how I was eating, I didn't have energy. On top of nursing and being up with a baby all night, when I wasn't eating correctly, it just made everything worse, okay? So I didn't have the energy or the desire to be a good housewife. And then admiration, that was never really an issue. We were really good friends. And now as far as my needs, affection, top need, I blocked it off. And then when you have someone else kind of filling your needs, he didn't feel the desire to fill mine, because why? Like, we had become roommates. There was no needs being addressed. So affection was not happening. Intimate conversations, like, we still talk, but not intimate. Intimate is like your goals and your dreams and your desires. And honestly, had that been happening, the other intimate conversations would not have been happening, okay? So communication is hugely important, and it was the lack of communication. And I remember being offended, like, why didn't you just come tell me? And like, he thought about it, and actually he was praying for a way out, and things happened, and it came not in the way he wanted. But you know, conversation and communication is huge, and it's usually hugely important for women. We know that. Open and honesty, that definitely was not happening. And when he talks about it in this book, there should be no secrets. No passwords are unknown. And here's the thing, when you have that full trust and disclosure, you don't need to go snooping. Yeah. You don't have the desire to go snooping. And he was going to talk about this a little bit.
For me, anyone who knows me very well knows that I'm a very private person, and I always have been. And my brothers are all that way. We all just grew up that way. I don't like to like Facebook is not really that comfortable for me, but
and I do the opposite.
I know. But yeah, so what were we going with this?
Privacy was a big thing for you.
Oh yeah, so passwords and all that stuff is like, there's no reason for me to, I don't like to be controlled. That's the thing. So by just giving everyone my password, or my wife my password, now it seems silly to me that who cares?
I didn't care, because honestly I didn't feel the need.
But before all this stuff went down, I was like, no, she doesn't need my password, blah blah blah. But what it did was it opened up an avenue for me that I could make these mistakes with the whole text messaging thing. And had I been open and honest from the beginning with those passwords and with everything, then that would have never even been, it would just have added a layer of security. Mm-hmm. And so
it would have been a lot less tempting.
Yeah, just be open and honest. Like there's no reason now. Now I don't even care. Like,
well, and to be honest, that was the first thing, like when he came and told me, I'm like, you're immediately changing your phone number. Like right there in the bathroom as I'm naked in the tub, we called and changed his phone number. I'm like, I need your passwords to Facebook. I need your passwords to your email. And I went through everything. And for a while, it got a little bit obsessive, you guys. I'm not going to lie. Like, I checked things like several times a day. And it did get to the point where I was like,
blame her, though?
No. And it did get to the point, though, where I was like, this is consuming my life. Like, I've got to be able to trust again, which is a question I'm going to ask now. And I'm going to answer. I had someone ask me, how do you trust again? Like, how did you get to the point where you trusted him again? And I'll be honest, up until this book, I still struggled. There were days I had a really hard time. This book provided so much clarity that it finally made sense, because I was like, why? But I don't understand why or how he could do that to me. Even though, you know, his love languages weren't being met, I still struggled with, but why? And reading this book, I was like, it just made everything clear. Like, it wasn't ever starting intentionally. He didn't think, I'm just going to get my wife back. I'm going to make her hurt because I'm lonely. It's very unintentional. And so just a few months ago, I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know, I've got to let go. Like, trust is very much a faith thing. And I've just got to trust him until I have reason to not. Because there's no sense in worrying about something until there's reason to worry. You're just going to eat yourself alive. And so I stepped back quite a bit after a few months of checking his stuff religiously. I decided, you know, this is eating me alive. Like, it's almost like I wanted to catch him. I don't know. It was weird. So I stepped back and I was like, you know, and just a couple months ago is when I was like, it's very much a faith thing. So I'm going to have faith because he is his own person. And as much as I don't want him to make certain choices, I cannot control him. All I can do is fill his love needs, and it's up to him at that point. So I can do everything in my power to make this work, but I can't force him the same way. So it's very much a faith thing, and it's not something that's going to happen overnight. And I may struggle with it forever, who knows? But the whole point is when you're filling his needs, I will do everything in my power to know that I did everything. And that's what I decided. You know, I'm going to fill his love needs. Am I going to be perfect all the time? No, life happens. But you know what? That's why you need an open and honest relationship anyway, so you can course correct. And if you need a weekly meeting to be like, okay, how are we doing? Then do it. It's the avoiding conversations that lead to problems as well. So as far as trusting again, you have to let go and you have to decide you're going to trust until you have reason to believe not to trust again, okay? Especially if you do this quiz and you can figure out their love needs. I'm going to talk about that in a sec. So open and honesty, super important for women. That is my third most important. I would probably rate it at the top, especially when things hit the fan. That was like my was his fifth love need because he's getting admiration. Does that make sense? So you may need to revisit the quiz often because things may change depending on circumstances and life situations, and you need to know how to love your spouse. So keep the dialogue open. My fourth one is sex. We talked about why that wasn't happening. And then recreational companionship. We just didn't have the funds. I kind of felt like so exhausted with children, like to think of date ideas like at home, like, nah. So what we did for that was, as soon as we started doing workouts, that's what we did together. We made that our date time. And that actually is one of the best things you can do for your relationship, is actually to work out together. It actually increases your emotional bond because you're working together. And for us, like, you push each other harder too. I mean, he pushes me. I don't really push him. I suck at working out. But it's something that can bring your relationship closer because you're doing something together that's bettering both of you, okay? So there are a couple other love needs. The financial support has never really been a big thing for me, but I will say that that was a stressor. That was a major stressor in our marriage because of he made the money at the time. I have a job now, Beachbody, that pays pretty well. But at the time, he was the one who made the money. I paid the bills. And honestly, like, I was okay with that until shiz hit the fan, and then I was pissed. I was like, I feel like I've been taken for granted because I'm dealing with so much stress. That stress led to negativity and bitterness and all of that because I was dealing with it like alone. And so that was one of the first things we did too, is we went through a budget. I'm like, you need to see what I'm dealing with. Like, you have no idea how stressful this is to be juggling bills around because we can't even afford to pay them on time. And that was eye-opening for him to see as well. And then he just recently, we moved for a job and we moved back. And he even just said, like, dude, that whole experience, it was horrible for him. He understood finally why I was so negative, because I was so frustrated with the daycare situation and having no money. And he could finally relate to that, like the need to talk about it and vent. And I felt like I had no one. And I knew it frustrated him that I was always venting to him.
I felt bad the whole last year while we were at that other job, that I was constantly venting about.
Which I just understood. I was like, dude.
Everything. And yeah, she took it really well. But
I feel you.
But man, I that's one thing I didn't like about being down there was Jaylyn kind of made me more of a positive person. And then when we went down there, I was always, man, I was so frustrated with a lot of the crap that was going on, and so I was constantly venting to her, and then I realized, man, that kind of sucks. That probably wear on you. But she understood it because she had been in a similar situation before we moved down there. So it's interesting how all these things have come together to kind of see
both sides.
Yeah, see both sides and kind of see what each other's gone through, and yeah, it wasn't till. Yeah, anyways, I'll let you keep going.
So the whole point is you've got to figure out your love needs so that you can fill your spouse's love needs. And I want to tell you something that a lot of people were very concerned about. After I did my last webinar, I had quite a few girls jump in with me and start doing my challenge groups. And a lot of them were very concerned, like, well, what about my needs? I understand that. My needs were not being met either. And honestly, I was pissed. When this happened, I was like, so now I'm supposed to just love you more so, like, you're happy again? Like, what about me? Like, I just had my heart freaking ripped out and I'm supposed to serve you? Like, it was really backwards. But I talked about it last time, how there were moments I wanted to hate him. And there were moments I was like, what can I do to hurt him? Like,
I didn't know about that.
I know it sounds horrible. But I couldn't do that because I was like, well, that two wrongs don't make a right.
You have to sleep with the helmet on.
No, it was more like, well, fine, I can go do that. I can find an attractive guy to go and chat with. Like, hello. But I was like, wow, let's come back to earth, Jaylyn, because you got a whole lot of repenting to do if you're going to do that and that. That's torture enough. So I did have those moments where I wanted him to hurt. I wanted him to feel the pain that I felt. And every time I had an overwhelming feeling of peace and love, which is weird because I wanted to hate him, but I never loved him more. And I knew that for this to work, I had to serve him. And it was not easy. And he was serving me by letting me listen. Like, I remember one morning I talked about it. I woke up with, like, severe rage. Do you remember that? It was like just a few days after. He's like, how you doing today? And I'm like, I'm pissed. Like, I want to like legit punch holes in walls right now. Like, I am like raging right now. So there were moments that it was hard, but I knew, like, I have to serve him. So that's what I'm going to tell you right now. All of my women in the group with me are feeling the same way. Well, what about my needs? Your needs will be met eventually. I know that that's so hard to hear, But as soon as you start feeling his love needs, you're going to have your needs met. Men, I think, are really, unless they're like psychotic and abusive, generally pretty easy to please. Fill their needs and they're going to be happy to return it. I know that there's a few of you on here who are in my challenge group, and they can verify, like, them loving their spouse has already started coming back to them. Probably not in the amounts that they want, but it does happen. Okay. And so now I want to talk to you guys about what I can do to help you. Besides talking about this, it is so hard to do things on your own, period. It's so hard. So I want you to understand that I've been there. And that was the hardest thing for me, was being alone. And of course it's embarrassing. Like, what do you do? Like, hey, best friend, P.S. want to hear my sucky life story? It's embarrassing to him. And so there were very, very few people that even knew about this. And it was so hard. Being alone is so hard. So I want you to know you're not alone. And I'm offering another His Needs, Her Needs challenge group. And the whole reason for that is to provide you with a support system of other people who have been there. It's not going to be the exact same. And I want you to know right now, we do not ever have this as a husband bashing group. Not in any way will I ever support that, because that's not going to fix your situation. So this is a positive group for you to have support in what you're trying to do, okay? Which is to better yourself by serving your husband and also taking care of your body physically and mentally. Because when you do that, I promise you, it is so much easier to fill his needs when you feel good about yourself. Because did you notice a lot of the top love needs for men are very physical, okay? Physical and visual, okay? Once again, please don't think you got to all of a sudden lose 40 pounds overnight. I immediately felt better when I started taking care of myself. I had the energy to get dressed. I had the energy to, like, want to do my makeup. I instantly felt leaner and stronger, even though I wasn't losing weight so drastically. I had those happy chemicals from exercising. I had the energy to actually, well, I still suck at cleaning the house, but a little bit trying, okay? Because I was fueling my body correctly. So the whole point of what I'm offering is to give you guys a support system. We read this book and we focus on one love need of your husband's. Like, we go through all the top 5 love needs and we focus on that for a week. So I give you daily challenges to help you fulfill that need. And so you can really start to focus on one thing at a time. And you can ask, so McCall just commented, it's amazing how much better you feel, okay? And Sheila is also in that, and she says, I love our group. Sheila did the free group that we did. Okay, so this group, okay? We read the book, we do the weekly challenges, you eat a meal plan, okay? And you also work out. Now, I wish that this was just a free group. I've done a free group, but I can only do them for about a week, because I have all of my other challengers who are actually investing in this for the long haul, and I give them the energy and support that they need. And this is a month-long group. I can't run a free group for a month long and give you guys the attention you need for those who are actually paying to do this, okay? But you guys, this is such a killer deal. Such a killer deal that you need this. And I'm telling you, had I known about this and done this, like, I would have, like, gone through everything and asked anyone. I would have been washing windows. I would have been, like, scrounging money up to make this happen. Because how quickly would you say that it improved our relationship when we started working out and eating right?
Oh, geez. I would almost say immediately there were results, but I mean, probably a month before we were like, I felt like we were more back on track where we were before, because there was, after this all went down and we were both going through this horrible time, there was like kind of a moment of dark disconnect there. And I think when we started working out was when everything kind of started to mesh again. So within a month again, I felt like we were a happy couple again, not just roommates.
Yeah, you could get a glimpse of, like, okay, we can do this. So what this is a meal plan that is this is not a fad diet. I don't want you guys to think that we will ever do anything that is temporary. This is permanent. I did this meal plan 2 years ago. I lost 40 pounds in 10 pant sizes. And I'm still eating this meal plan. You guys, I eat normal food. You can have whatever you ate before with slight modifications, okay? So this is long-term eating. You will also get access to all of Beachbody's workouts, all of them that they've ever created for an entire year. And the reason why this is awesome is I don't want you to ever think you just do a program for 21 days and then you're done. Like, you guys know, you need to be eating right and you need to be exercising for the rest of your life. I understand how overwhelming that feels, because trust me, I still don't love to work out. It's not something I'm like, oh yeah, let's go work out. But I know how important it is for my health long term and also right now. And so it's something that you'll get used to as you do my challenges. We have month-long themes, like I said. So we're doing the His Needs, Her Needs. It starts next Monday. So you'll have a month. Just do it a month at a time, okay? And take it a week at a time. Take it a day at a time. But you need to have the mentality that you're in this for the long haul, because you will not have the lasting results that you want if you're in this for a month and you quit, okay? So you get the workouts for an entire year. And then you also get a month of Shakeology. They package these in such a way that you're going to be able to try the Shakeology significantly discounted. That is something that everybody's like, I don't have money for that. Dude, I get you. Protein shakes, count me out. No, thank you. When I first signed up, I even told him, like, well, I'm going to enjoy the one bag we have because that's expensive. And 1 week later, I bought him his own bag because I was like, quit touching my stuff. This stuff is awesome. And so they put this in a challenge pack where you get to try it severely discounted to see if it's something for you. Okay, and I'm willing to bet almost everybody who signs up for it is like, it's not going to be worth it. Do you want to know how many people continued on last month? I think actually all of them. Only one has to cancel because of medical reasons out of 10 that signed up last month with me, okay? So this is your chance to try it, and I'm never going to pressure you to keep doing it if it's not for you. But you guys need this, and I'm telling you, you need this because it changed our marriage. And I'm not going to say that overnight marriage is better, but when you focus on yourself, fueling your body right and exercising, and then loving your spouse and filling his needs, your life will improve, okay? You get all of this for $199, okay? You guys, if you purchase this and you sign up for my group tonight, I will buy you the book and ship it to your house, whether you want it on Audible or physical copy of it. I will throw that in there so you're not having to buy the challenge pack and the book. I will buy the book for you. I can't emphasize enough how much this changed our marriage. And this book just in the last month has given me more peace than the previous 2 years, because I finally figured out how I can keep him happy. We know now what we need to do, and we can always course correct. It's easy to be like, okay, am I meeting your physical attraction needs? Well, you got dressed once last week, so probably not. Okay, so it's easy to gauge when you know the answers of how to do this. Okay, I am going to go through comments and questions real quick, and then we can, and there was a lot, guys.
There's quite a few questions at the beginning.
Yeah, so let's go back through that and then we'll chat more. Wow, lots of them. Okay, this is where they start. Did you have feelings for her? I think they were talking about the girl that this happened with.
Who's that from, Amanda?
Yeah.
Did I have feelings for her? That's what's so messed up about this whole thing, is not really. No, I mean, I did because we had dated in the past, but no, I didn't. But I guess in a way, I've always been somewhat attracted to her, and so that's what opened the door.
Don't even get me started on that one.
Yeah, but it was stupid. I've said it from the beginning. No, I really wasn't. But that's.
She was that feeling for you.
Yeah, it was like I was. It was like I was chasing something that didn't exist, and that happens all the time. That's why people get, addicted to pornography and TV shows and any number of things. But it's because they're chasing something that isn't real, but they want it to be real. And so, anyways, and that's kind of how I got sucked into that.
Were you deleting the messages?
Yes.
Number one sign you probably shouldn't be doing it if you have to cover it up. Okay, hold on. What made you want to tell Jaylynn about this feeling toward the other girl?
What made me want to?
Yeah, we never addressed that. Like, what made you finally like, oh shiz, I need to tell her? Like, what? Why did you tell me? Why didn't you just keep doing the?
I felt like it was getting to the point where if I didn't tell her, she'd find out another way, and I think that would hurt even more than the damage that I had done. And so
Oh, that
I
would
was
have
like,
been bad, you guys.
so I was like,
so bad.
I got to tell her, this crap's got to stop. And I knew that, and I like she mentioned, I honestly had been praying for a way to get out because I hated it, but yet it was like
it's an addiction.
An
It's that
addiction
part of the
is-
brain
yeah.
that needs to be filled.
So I knew it was wrong, and eventually it was getting to the point where it could go really bad if I didn't do something, and so finally I just said enough's enough. I didn't want her to find out from anyone else. Yeah, because we're all connected, and especially nowadays. So pulled the plug.
Okay, let's see. What kind of things were you two texting about, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh, bloody. In the beginning, it was just casual conversation, just like you do in any other interaction with people. But then,
like coworker interaction, like just.
Yeah, and then when it got bad was when you started talking about the days when we were dating, and then things that we liked about each other at that time, or what were you thinking at this time when we went on this date, or blah blah blah. And then it just became more in depth and more intimate, more inappropriate. And yeah.
Okay.
It's getting hot in here.
Ooh, take off all your clothes.
No.
Okay, let's see. Greg, it takes a lot of guts to be open like you did, and it looks like you are helping others out there.
I hope so, because this sucks.
I really appreciate it. You're both an incredible blessing for my husband and I as we sit here in tears. Sorry. Am I gulping weirdly? McCall said that they took the quiz and it was shocking how wrong they were both about each other's needs.
Which I think most people are going to find out. We were pretty close.
We were pretty accurate, but
there are just some specifics that we didn't have lined up
in the wrong order.
Yeah, and then maybe we could be more than we were in the areas that we knew each other needed. So it was good. Hey, dog. Hey.
Randall, thank you. It was the most awkward thing to find out each other's needs. It wasn't until we discussed things that we understood each other more. And that's the whole point. Like, you guys, it's not going to be like the most like walk in the park thing, but it will bring clarity to your relationship. And seriously, it brought more peace to me than it ever has before. And it's been so nice to know, like, that's why it wasn't that he wanted her. It's because he wanted his needs met. Does that make sense, you guys? And that, I think, is true. And when you read the book, it talks about that. He talks about how a lot of people are not even like who you would think would pair up, but because they're meeting that person's needs, like the affair type, okay? They're not even like the type that would normally be together, but when they fill each other's needs, they don't care. Like, yeah. Amanda says, I have loved this book. I have been trying to use it in our marriage for the past couple of weeks. I cannot believe what has been happening in the short amount of time. We've been able to open up and talk to each other and serve each other. I was able to hear constructive criticism and not have it break my heart. I started falling back in love with my hubby. You guys, that's what I want you to understand. Like, when they tell you honestly that's what they need, they're not attacking you. They're telling you what they need. Okay, so take it as a fact. This is what he needs to feel loved. Just like when you tell him what you need to feel loved. Like, I flat out told him, he's a hugger, I'm a kisser. Like, you need to kiss me more, okay? So that's my need. And it's okay. I'm not saying you're so rude because you never kiss me. It's like, I need more kissing to fill my love bucket for affection. Like, we hug, we're very touchy in that way, but I need more kissing specifically. So I'm not putting him down. I'm telling him what I need. So remember that as they tell you, don't be offended. They're not trying to hurt you. They're trying to tell you so you can fill that need so someone else doesn't, okay? I started falling back in love with my hubby. We have been married for 11 years, and he is a police officer. You guys, we relate to you so much. So life has its stresses for us. We have always loved each other and we have hit rock bottom, but I can see how we have gotten there. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. And I couldn't read that whole comment. Someone else said, I have no doubt that this could have saved my marriage. I really think that this could save any marriage. Like anybody who applies the principles in this book, you can save your marriage. What did they say? There was a comment up here. Some books to read is 100 Ways to Love Your Husband and 100 Ways to Love Your Wife. I love more books like that. Yeah, don't look homeless if that's your husband's top need. I truly believe as you're trying to fulfill your spouse's needs, it makes you appreciate and love them so much more, especially if they are trying things that you are really, wait, I'm not reading this right, that you really need to work on. My husband told me that he needed me to get ready more. He loves the way I look. I just have to get ready ever so often. Yeah. I didn't even realize this. I was just so tired of taking care of kids in the house and didn't ever feel like I was getting ready. I have found it's so much easier to wake up and get ready first thing. Okay, I want to touch on that. So, for instance, when you go through and you rate them, fulfill their top needs first, and the ones near the bottom, they're going to be more forgiving about, right? So if I'm dressed and pretty for the day and the dishes aren't done, he's probably going to be a little bit happier because that's a top need. Now, if I'm like always looking homeless, but the dishes are done, that's going to start to wear on him because physical attractiveness is the top need. Does that make sense? So we're not saying you have to be perfect. And like he knows, like, and I know that like life is not going to be perfect, but it's the fact of trying to fulfill those needs. Okay, hold on. Keep going. Okay, now we're getting to questions about the group. Can I sign up for the challenge without doing the Beachbody? I just can't afford it right now. You guys, I really, really wish I could, but like I said, I've got lots of challengers in this and I've got to give my time and attention to them because that's essentially my job. I do offer free groups every once in a while. I did one last week for his needs, her needs, and depending on the feedback I get here, it may happen again. I can't say. But like I said, I promise you, I would have scrounged this money up from anywhere. I was bouncing bills anyway, but I would have bounced a bill to make this work because it changed our marriage. Just the working out and eating right. If we had read this book 2 years ago, my heart would have had so much peace, you guys. Like, I just can't emphasize that enough. And I know that it doesn't sound as good as it is. Trust me, when you combine everything with this, I wish you could see the testimonials that I'm hearing in my group. It's insane. And I've been reading them to him, and that's ultimately why he decided to share, was because he could see, okay, that's what these people are saying, and they don't even know my side of the story. And so that's why he agreed to this. It's worth hunting for pennies. I for sure have to work hard to figure out the finances, but it's been 100% worth it. McCall, you're freaking awesome. And McCall has lost, as of last week, she'd been doing it for like 2.5 weeks. She's lost 5 pounds and 10 inches, and she has already said that she can see how this is healing to her marriage. Okay. Can you do it without the Shakeology? You actually can't gut the shake? Cassie, tell me what you mean by that. How can you join if you already have?
We'll give you some
Katie,
tips on how you can gut that shake. There's a lot of good ways.
Yes. Katie, I will add you to the group if you're already a customer of mine. So the month-long Shakeology, how many shakes a day is that? It's 1 shake a day. Okay, I'll be honest. If you can get your husband to do this, not even necessarily like in the challenge group, but just to work out and eat clean, that's going to make your life so much better. Not only that, you're going to feel better for each other. You can even share the shakes, do like a half a scoop each day. So it's 30 shakes total. How do I join in the challenge group when I already do Shakeology daily, plus have a Beachbody DVDs and just bought size? Morgan, do you already have a coach? That's going to change things as well. If you have a coach, you guys need to be working with your coach. If you don't have a coach, I'm more than happy to put you in my group if you already have the programs and stuff. But if you already have a coach, I can't take you. Greg, your drawstrings are askew and it's been bugging me the whole video. So what if
What was
I've
that?
said I need more of kissing and he said I'm just not that kind of person? Okay, you guys need to do the quiz. You need to do the quiz together. And like I said, when you start feeling his needs, you might be able to address that again down the road. Okay, and it may not. It may not happen overnight. And like I said, you've got to come with the mindset of you're doing this to feel better about yourself while serving him. Okay. And you have to go into it that way. You can't go into this like, well, what about me? What about me? You're going to be very, very disappointed and frustrated. So you have to go into this that you are going to do everything to fix your relationship on your end, regardless of what he does.
Is that the one you just talked about?
Yeah. You just can't drink it. I've tried so many shakes and just struggle to drink them like they make you. Okay, Cassie, the reason your stomach hurts is because that dog's going to make me nuts because they're moving out. It's not so crazy loud. So there is, Shakeology is not just a protein shake or a meal replacement shake, and that's where a lot of people are very confused. I could do like seriously an hour-long video on why Shakeology is different. I'll try and keep it brief. Shakeology is made from whole foods. It has, besides the superfoods in it, which basically mean they're really full of antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that normal food isn't. So your body's getting all of those vitamins and minerals that it needs to function properly. It has pre and probiotics. Probiotics are the good bacteria that your gut needs to be balanced. Okay, so good bacteria is essential for your gut health. Your gut is linked to your immune system as well as your mental health. It's like 70% of your immune system. With our diet nowadays and the amount of sugar we eat and the crap that's in our food, our guts are severely out of whack, severely. So you've got an imbalance of bad bacteria and yeast. And when I say you, I'm meaning in general. I have that. Most of the general population has that. And so when you start drinking Shakeology, it's actually killing off that bad bacteria, and that's what's causing that gut ache. Because essentially you have so much space in your intestines, and we flood it with this pre and probiotic, and it's fighting for space. It's trying to kill off that bad bacteria that causes constipation, bloating, gas, even diarrhea. It's seen as a negative thing. It's a good thing. That means your body's trying to balance out. You need your gut to be balanced. You'll notice people who drink Shakeology will say that their anxiety has gone down, their depression has improved, because your gut health is linked to your mental health, because your guts absorb your nutrition and deliver it to your brain. Okay, gets in your bloodstream and goes to your brain. If you aren't having a balanced gut, you're going to be deprived of those nutrients. Shakeology also has digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes basically help break down your food so that your body can absorb more nutrients, but they won't absorb more nutrients if your gut is not balanced. Prebiotics are what feed the probiotics, okay? So you have to have prebiotics to feed the probiotics, okay? On top of that has adaptogenic herbs. Adaptogenic herbs bring your body to balance with stress. So that can be adrenal stress, that can be free radicals and all of that. It helps your body respond and adapt to stress. When your adrenals are functioning properly, all of their hormones tend to balance out. And I could do a whole other video on that too. So that is all that's in Shakeology, and that's why a lot of people experience discomfort at first, which is why I actually recommend a half scoop at first. If you're not having discomfort with a half a scoop, you can slowly go up to a full scoop. It's your gut balancing out. So it's not, and it may be the whey protein. They have a vegan formula for Shakeology as well. So if you struggle with the whey, the dairy protein, do the vegan. And let's see. Rayma, yes, I can add you because I have my coaches who are doing this group with me. This group is amazing. McCall says, this group is amazing. I am so excited to go into another month. Morgan says, I am not a coach and there is not another shake on the market that comes close to the quality of superfoods and micronutrients in Shako. As far as taste, it's the best. No nasty. No nasty after medicine-y taste. Shako is hands down the best, and I agree. I'm not a protein shake person. I drink it for the nutrients, and this is by far the best tasting. My husband even says that, and he's had way more than I've ever had. So you just had to switch to a vegan diet due to some heart health issues. Will this program work for it? Yes, it will. We have a vegan and a vegetarian food list that you just swap out for the proteins, okay? Yes, so Kelly, Danielle's in my downline as well. So yes, you can be added to this. So more than anything, I want you guys to understand that we've been there. And like I said, I'm offering this group because I know what a difference it makes to have accountability. And and what it makes to have support, because you feel extremely alone when your marriage is suffering and you feel like no one else is going through that. You guys, you're not alone, okay? My husband's busy playing with the dog, but I want you guys to know I've been there, and I hope that you guys can see how genuine we have been trying to be with this, and how hard it is for my husband to admit that. But I want you to know that, like, a relationship is better than it's ever been. And just because you're going to experience heartache doesn't mean that you won't ever be happy again. Okay. In fact, I really think that you can be stronger because you know what it takes to keep your relationship a priority, and you know what it takes to keep your spouse happy. Okay. So I'm going to see if you guys have any more questions, and then I'm going to wrap it up. But I want you guys to know that if you want to jump into this challenge group, you have until midnight tonight, and I will buy you that book. Also, I want you to hurry and quickly comment if you shared or invited people to this group, because I am going to do a drawing for a $15 Amazon gift card that I will email to you. So comment if you invited friends to this group, and I'm going to go through afterwards and do a drawing, and I will post that in the event as well. And please feel free to continue to share this, because I think a lot of people can relate to it, and I want people to understand that there are other people out there. And sometimes, even though life is so perfect on Facebook, people have been through crappy times, and we've been there. And I don't want you to ever believe that, like, we're just perfect, because we're not. Okay, so Amanda says you have, dang it, Cassie. Amanda says she shared, Rebecca shared, Kelly shared, Natalie shared. Sheila, yes, I can get you added. And Angela, you shared, and McCall, you added friends. Okay, does anybody have any other questions really quickly before we go? You guys were awesome. Oh, Amanda, good question. No, so if you choose to stay on the Shakeology, we get you set up at the discount, which is $4 a day. I know that this sounds like a lot, but you guys, $4 a day to replace a meal with the nutrients and what it does for you. It is worth every penny. You'll find that you're not eating out as much. You're not wasting as much food. You're not buying crap and pop and sodas and all of this stuff that actually adds up to more than $4. So it's about $120 a month. We set you up the discount if you want that. If not, I hope you cancel. You're always welcome in my groups, regardless. Once you're a customer of mine, you're always a customer of mine. Okay, hold on. Going back through comments. Rayma shared. And yes, Rayma, we will get you added. Message Ashley. If you guys have a coach in my downline, message them and say you want in the group that we're doing. It starts next Monday. So that's another reason we need to get that ordered, is so that you guys have it in time to start next Monday. Amanda, what do you mean by how do you balance it all? As in being, oh, gotcha. As in being a wife and mom and taking care of yourself and your family. Your husband is always more important than your children. I know that sounds really, really bad, but that's what was happening to us is our family, our children became more important. And that's where our relationship went downhill. Like, they should always be the priority. Your marriage is what keeps your family together. So kids need to see that parents take that seriously, and then your kids come, okay? And Mary, yes, message Jerica that you want in. Sheila said, tell your hubby thank you for sharing. I know it's not easy for y'all. He nodded his head yes. Yes, marriage is the priority. It's the core, okay? You guys are awesome. Kudos to Greg for opening up to us. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go. It was really, really good. Carly, you just jumped on and we ended. Like, you're going to have to go back and watch it now. Okay, I will talk to you guys later. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions. Feel free to PM me if you're like not wanting to comment on this, and we will talk. I will post all this stuff in the group tonight and tomorrow about the quiz and the book and all of that stuff. Okay, we will talk later. See ya.